to another Thursday night. I'm your host, Mac Davis. That, of course, is my co-host, Mr. Jeff Lane, and this is Backstage Lunacy Full Access. Jeff, good to see you again this week. Hope you enjoyed this episode tonight.
Always do, man. Always do.
Yeah, it's I love seeing that in the chat room, too, because I know you watch the chat room like I do during the show, and watching the people who get in there, who are so jacked and so ready, and they will tell you this is the only show they look forward to every week. And you see that all the time in chat. Very cool. And by the way, if you want to be a part of tonight's show, all you have to do is send us a super chat. We'll throw it up on the screen. You can become a part of the show. We appreciate everybody who's in here too. Please do us a favor, share this around, let everybody know that we are live, and let's make this a hot night tonight. Jeff, I do want to mention, first of all, hopefully we'll have zero problems when it comes to internet, because I got a new internet provider since last week. I don't have to worry about using that what they called fiber internet that ended up not being fiber whatsoever. But hopefully that means we'll have a much better show tonight when it comes to being smooth. I do also want to mention that tonight's show, just to give you an idea of what it was like weather-wise for this show. Look here, it got really cold in Michigan, and then the snow started coming down. This was the beginning of what ended up being a very snowy weekend. This is what fans do. They get there around lunchtime. Shows don't even start till 8. They are already standing in line, and this is how it looks.
Championship Wrestling Legacy right now. Vince Russo, Big Vito, we all come to see your asses get kicked.
Well, you came to the right place, because that's what happens tonight. Look, we have in the beginning Vince Russo and Violent J, Jeff. And tell me how you feel about this storyline, where it's going, the percentage of ownerships, and all of that. What is your take on this storyline?
Well, before I get into that real quick, I just want to remind everybody, Barnabas the Bizarre will be joining us tonight, so make sure you stick around for that. Looking forward to talking to Barnabas. This Mac, I think this is what everything has built up to since the moment Veto got out of that limo.
Yes,
that's why the anticipation is high for this match. Who are they going to choose? Of course, we'll get into that as the night goes on. But if you think all the way back, November, Veto shows up out of that limo, lying about being the investor. Then we find out the truth. Vince comes in. Matt cross screws Violent J. Violent J fights his way back in, gets Veto fired up with the limo to get Veto to say, all right, fine, you can come back in. Now everything has built up to this. And I think what we all saw play out in that opening in-ring was just months and months and months of anticipation. And now we're actually going to see it next week.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of things coming down the pike, too, that are going to be really cool to see. Things that are going to pay off that you've been wondering about. You keep watching. I promise things are going to get crazier inside JCW Championship Wrestling. One of the things, too, if you weren't there, the crowds have become bigger each show. This past TV tapings that we just did was probably about twice the amount of people than we had from the TV show before. And that's great. Guys, we certainly appreciate you coming out to those shows. Please do that. They're absolutely free. You get to come and enjoy yourself. And the TV tapings are just, they're a blast. I promise you, everybody who's been to those tapings will tell you it is a blast. It's unlike anything you've ever been to before. And it's something unique and different. It's JCW Championship Wrestling. And one of the things, too, if you wanted to get an idea of what it's like in the crowd to watch part of the opening of the show, here's how it looks from the view standpoint of the fans.
JCW's DJ Clay. And please welcome at this time the majority owner of JCW, Vince Russo. A few months ago, I never wanted it to come down to this. And what it has come down to was I am caught between a friend
It's amazing to me the difference, how the audience reacts to both individuals. Vince Russo, they hate, absolutely hate Vince Russo and love Jay. And we know that Jay eventually agreed to do the deal with Vince Russo. That brought out Veto. And when Veto came out, he said he's going to torture people, make people take the paint off, all this other stuff. And Jay reminded him that he didn't have anything on the line. So now, if Veto loses, Jay says, you'll come out here, you'll apologize to the Juggalos for all this shit you've been talking about them for months. And one more thing, you're going to be in full Juggalo attire, including the paint and drinking Fago juice. Jeff, I love what's coming soon, if that's going to be the case, because I would love to see Veto in that paint.
Yeah, the crowd was really into this from both sides, booing Veto with everything he's going to do if he becomes half owner, and then when Violent J's laying out what Vito's going to have to do, dressing up, you know, in the Juggalo gear. So crowd really into this. I would have to say, if after watching this, if you're not rooting for Violent J, there's something wrong with you. Like, especially the promo he cut to Vince. You know, he's not the athletic beast he was back in the WCW and WWE days. And if you haven't seen those guys go, he's doing moonsaults off the top. Like, he's not full of shit here. Crazy stuff, right? You should go check that out. But also, I just want to say, Mac, if you want a hat just like this is straight from the Psychopathic Vault, psychopathicvault.com. Represent JCW just like me, guys. You can get it. It's in stock right now. It's a very awesome hat.
You can also find that at the events. They sell those hats at the events and much more merchandise. And in fact, we got a commercial coming a little bit later that'll tell you about all the different types of merchandise you can get from JCW. We do have a super chat getting into the room. And by the way, if you want to be a part of the show, that's how you do it. Send us a super chat and we'll throw it up on the screen. I'll say this is the official, make sure I say this right, Bebecito. Is that right? Jeff, is that what you
That's
say?
what I would go with. Bebecito or Bebecito, yeah.
That's close.
I'm sure he'll correct us.
He says we need a rated M for mature JCW Lunacy video game. Matches,
awesome.
cutscenes, street brawls, unlockables. Say that wouldn't go off. Look, you're a big gamer, Jeff. Would that be a big deal for you?
Hell yeah. Yeah. So anybody that doesn't know, I am a big video game nerd. On my YouTube, I got a bunch of video game videos. But a JCW video game, I used to love the wrestling games back in the day on the Nintendo 64. So I'm aging myself here. And I haven't really gotten into wrestling games, you know, over the last 10, 15 years or so. But if you had a JCW video game with JCW style and it felt like JCW, yeah, that would be sick. That would be absolutely sick. I agree. So, hey, any game companies out there, get a hold of us, huh?
Yeah. And by the way, that was a $9.99 donation. We certainly appreciate that. Let's see. We also had, I've said this every single week now, the Father Bronson vignettes that are coming out. Jeff, these are so damn creative.
Yeah, he's I haven't even seen the guy wrestle. I know he's got videos up on his Instagram. You know how they got his Instagram at the end of that. So this is a guy. This is the first. I had not been familiar with him before this, so I've never seen him wrestle. But I want to see him on the show just because of these things. They're so creative, man. He's got natural ability to make you focus on what he's saying.
Yes.
And
yes, he's a hell of a performer. When you watch those vignettes and you see what he's doing, he's switching, you know, the style of the promo off and on throughout the entire thing. That takes a lot, and he's doing a great job of it. And it was one of those things again where I didn't really catch on at the beginning that it was an actual, you know, vignette for somebody that was coming. I thought it was a commercial or something. Just kind of ignored it, but then I started falling into it. But a very creepy, odd kind of vibe. I'm digging it. Caleb Conley and Suicide, their match. Caleb Conley, you know, that surprised me a little bit with Suicide, but I wasn't surprised by the fact that Suicide. Am I right about that? Am I saying Conley and Suicide? That's right, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
and Suicide wasn't Suicide, or maybe it was. It ended up being Matt Cross.
Yeah, it's something Matt Cross is familiar with. He's played this card before when he was wrestling as the Misfit under a mask. Old school Lunacy fans probably remember that. But I like this because he got fired. You know, I don't know if it would count as fired, but he lost a match where he has to leave. So I guess technically that's fired, but he's not going quiet into the night. And he I guess stole Suicide's gear, maybe bought it on eBay. I don't know. I just want to know, where's the real Suicide in all of this? Does Matt Cross lock him up somewhere in a basement? Yeah. Yeah, I like this, especially I liked how when he started doing Matt Cross moves, the announcers weren't playing dumb. Hey, that's, you know, Matt Cross does that. So yeah, I don't know. I like stuff like this. I really liked Caleb getting on Mark Roberts there for not taking his ring gear before he walked back up the ramp. You know, he said it was your first day, Mark.
We also got the video package of Veto, Mickey Knuckles, and Mr. Anderson. Anytime you can get in, and look, these are three fantastic talents that know how to use a microphone, and they are so comical, all three of them, that this really was a great piece of work for me.
I felt bad for Mickey. What the things that he was saying, you know, and then when she gave it back to him, it's like, yeah, you know, because you know she's just been having fun with Veto this whole time, but finally, all right, that's enough, buddy. I'm not taking your lip anymore. And at the same time, he's asking her to be on his team. Yeah, like so
I don't know. Can you be
right? Yeah, so I don't know when, you know, I don't know if the fuck you Veto and the walkout means she's not going to do it. I don't know, but I'm interested to see. But that whole interaction was cool, and we haven't even got to Anderson coming in, and that's another thing where Anderson has been messing with Veto the past couple weeks and being funny, but he wasn't messing with him this time. He got right up in his face and was being serious,
which is what made it so good, because you expected something comical, instead it got very serious at that point as he tried to choke out Veto. Look here, there's also some other things that are taking place within JCW. One of the things that I've noticed lately is that we get a lot more kids at the shows. We have a lot of kids who are starting to show up. And one of those kids that I had a chance to meet just this past weekend was a young fella by the name of Leonardo. And I wanted to play something for you. He's a big Veto fan. Watch this.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Yep.
All right. The JCW Lunacy Post Show. I'm Mac Davis, and you are?
Leonardo Farkas.
Tell me about this shirt.
So it says, and no more Fago juice tonight. I made it because Veto used to say that a lot of times tonight, and me and my dad thought it was funny.
Do you like Veto, I take it?
Yeah.
Is he your favorite wrestler on the card? Or do you have other favorites?
I like Russo, I like Veto, I like Steven Fly, I like a lot.
All right, and you brought your dad with you, right?
Yeah.
Is your mom here too, or just you and your dad?
Yeah, she's in the crowd.
Y'all left her sitting in the seat while y'all had the fun, right? Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it.
Man,
Really
Veto
cool kid.
Veto may need to ask him to wrestle because he has no friends left. You know, that might be the only guy that would join him on his team. That kid there, very cool.
Yeah, it is. He's a really cool kid. He was there with his dad, who I've met through this show, as a matter of fact. In fact, Jeff, I'll let you know, we had a lot of people talk about this show while I was there this past TV tapings, saying how much they love enjoying watching the show. And Leonardo was one of them. He said that he makes his dad religiously every Thursday night. They have to watch JCW Lunacy, and then they watch this show immediately after. And I told him I appreciated that very much.
Thank you, Leonardo. Thank you very much.
That's very cool. Let's talk about our live guest tonight, too. If you want to speak with our live guest, it will be Barnabas the Bizarre. He'll be with us a little bit later, probably in about 20 minutes from now. We'll have him in the room, and you can ask him anything you want. Just send us a super chat, and we'll throw it up on the screen. Let's talk about Barnabas and Abel and Jackson, because they actually had a little promo in the back where he seems to be having a hard time controlling these guys, Jeff.
And they were looking a little rough. I mean, a little rough than normal, you know. It looked like they may have been digging at their face. They need their fix. I like this whole dynamic of Barnabas, who always has these guys under control.
Yep. Can't
control them because of cocaine, you know. Like it's very cool to see that side of Barnabas come out, because while he's always in control, to see him kind of lose his mind trying to deal with this.
You know, also over the weekend, a lot of people watched on Sunday night. There was a live event from JCW where we had kind of a little bit of a
very good show. Yes.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a time warp. If you kind of had to get into that time warp, because we went back just a little bit for this live event that happened on Sunday. And I've been promising that we're going to take you backstage. Well, I'm going to take you backstage. This is a match that the Outbreak we're getting ready for with Barnabas. And this is what it looks like backstage before and after a match. Well, there we go. For the first time
inside scoops, you want behind the scenes, that's the third show, 3 days straight. Detroit, Michigan, Saginaw, Michigan, Lansing, Michigan. Tonight, we have the distinct honor and privilege of sharing that ring with the one and only French Canadian Frankenstein, PCO, and undoubtedly the baddest bitch in all of pro wrestling, Mickey Knuckles, and our old amigo, Big Vito. It was an honor and a privilege, but this Thursday night on Lunacy, FLOWEKANE, especially you, Cocaine, are gonna pay the ultimate price for what you've done to my team, you filthy, addict-riddled bastard! God damn you!
Man, I love Barnabas. Go ahead.
Magnificent. That's great, Mac. That stuff is great. You guys are only going to see that on this show.
Yeah, this is exclusive stuff. We do have more that you'll be seeing, and this is just the top layer of what's coming in the future for this show. I promise you, you're going to get behind the scenes more than you could ever imagine. Let's talk, though, about the ladies' match tonight. We had Sophia Rose against DANI MO. DANI MO is just a powerhouse, Jeff.
Yeah, I liked seeing this because we saw Sophia wrestle in the tag match, but we hadn't seen her do a singles match yet. So getting in there with Danny, I thought that was good to see. Also, she looks like she's just irritated all the time, Sophia. Yeah. Like the entire match, she just looks like she's pissed off. I'd like to know a little more about her and what's going on with her.
Yeah, hopefully in the future we'll start getting a little bit more background about her and her. That's the one thing I love about the characters in JCW. Eventually you do. You start seeing the different layers of these characters so they're not just so one-dimensional. And another character, too, that I'm really looking forward to seeing is the Green Phantom. We talk about this guy every week for the last several weeks. Jeff, I still don't really know if is this guy going to come in? Is he going to be a good guy? Is he going to be a bad guy? Who is this guy?
This may be the only time since I've been in the live chat, watching the chat, that I've been disappointed with the chat, because here I am giggling like a little schoolgirl that he's going to come clear this smelly fart cloud. They show the cloud, make the fart noise. Like, chat, no, they didn't pop for it. Well, chat, where were you on that? That was freaking hilarious to me. I have a very immature sense of humor. So fart jokes I always laugh at, but to me that was hilarious. There's a stinky fart cloud in JCW, and he's gonna come get rid of that cloud. So yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Our next match was MECHA WOLF versus Mr. Anderson. MECHA WOLF, again, here's a beast inside JCW. He's fun to watch. The energy levels that he has when he's in the ring, he's explosive. Against a pro like Mr. Anderson, I thought it was a good match.
Yeah, and I think the whole point of this too was what happened at the end. So we see MECHA WOLF in a high profile match. He's in there with the champion. MECHA WOLF's getting a big following in JCW. Of course, Anderson is Anderson, so being in there with him, that was good to see. But, the whole point of this was Veto, who doesn't give a shit about, he was waiting till Anderson had his back turned, and he didn't care who won the match. He just wanted to beat the shit out of Anderson. And, so there's something you would assume that's going to come with this. And that was the whole point of this. It was nice seeing MECHA WOLF in this situation. People were wondering, hey, how did I thought Cocaine is the #1 contender? Well, he is. So he could get that match, however they're doing it, whenever he chooses. But even if MECHA WOLF wins this match and becomes the champ, Cocaine's still the #1 contender. He just gets the match whenever he wants. So I think that's the way I'm understanding it.
And look here, one of the things that I like about tonight's show was Stephen Flo and Cocaine, and the fact that Flo was telling him, look, there's come a time where, I need to stand on my own 2 feet. I've got to do this on my own. And one of the other things we find out, too, is that you've got some extra stuff going around. And I think he was kind of suggesting maybe you have something you can help me with. But he says, also let those zombies get into that booger sugar. Because they don't know if they're coming or going when they get into it. So they actually got a plan, it seems like to me, Jeff, to get things done the way that they need to get them done for a win. You were mentioning a while ago about that hat that you have on right there. Tell everybody again how you can get that hat.
Psychopathicvault.com. This hat is awesome. It's one of those, I forget what they're called, the stretchy ones. It's multiple sizes.
Oh, the flex fit.
Yes, Flex Fit. Thank you.
Yep.
I always forget that. I have a couple of my other hats for my
Fat
fat
heads.
head. Yeah, are like that too. So yeah, there's I think there's 2 different size ranges of them on the site. But it guys, this hat's awesome. Represent JCW. You can get it right now.
And you can find a lot of merchandise there.
Over here, you don't even wanna get near. Shit, if I was you, I'd turn around and back on up before your ass gets stuck, little buster. Trying to meet mud with that lip flapping. What you thought was gonna happen? Turn around, bitch boy, and break out fast before you get that foot in your ass, motherfucker.
Get old Veto on here. You know something, Mac? I don't like you, okay? I never did, all right? And I got something else. You're always walking around the counter like a bunch of the rest of the fanokes in this place trying to take my picture. My pictures are worth $35, maybe $40, and I'm not autographing it for you, okay? So get the camera out of my face.
And that was another exclusive piece from this past weekend's Panic Zone, the live show that we had on Sunday night with JCW. Jeff, let's talk, though, about a chance that I had. I guess you saw this, where I got to ask Violent Jay about his thoughts on the upcoming Deadly Resolution. Your thoughts?
Yeah, and also we did skip the Jeeves website. That people were asking, is that real? Yes, it's real.
Yeah.
Jeeves Achi, go to it. I think it's jeevesachi.com, right? Wasn't that the site?
I think that's correct. And Jeeves, I got to work with him over this past weekend too. He's hilarious, and he's actually really, really talented. But yeah, make sure you go there. But let's talk though about what happened with Violent Jay and his comments about what's coming up. What was your take on it?
Well, he said that Tony and Willie are his guys, and I think that's the smart pick.
Yep.
When he had the last time he had to pick somebody, they were out of commission, and when he had to go to Matt Cross, and how all that turned out, right? That's why we're in the position that we're in right now. So I think while that is the most obvious choice, it is also the right choice, because who else would he want in there fighting for him than those two guys. So it appears that that's the. I don't see either of those guys saying no to that. I'm assuming, you know, that he would have already asked them in the clip there. So.
Yeah, and not only that, but we did get back in a little bit after that, and we found that Mr. Kennedy, as we were talking about this a while ago, I'm sorry, Mr. Anderson, I always say Kennedy, I apologize for that, but Mr. Anderson choked out Veto in the back for the most part, which I like seeing that. We talked about this a while ago. He had a different edge about him, that where he cut out the jokes, and he just got serious.
Well, and Veto making everybody mad. That's what I like about this, because we're going to see later when he talks to Facade. He's kind of running out of options here, but Anderson,
I'm sure Facade will appreciate that. He ran out of an option, so he's going to go to Facade.
Well, you know, that's not what I meant. You know what I meant.
I know
what but Anderson could be a maybe a backup option if Tony or Willie could not go, because if anybody's got motivation right now to beat the hell out of Veto, it's Anderson.
Absolutely true. Let's hear the open challenge. You were just talking about this. NIC NEMETH had an open challenge tonight, and Facade, which is the JCW American champion, came out and accepted that challenge and also put the JCW American Championship on the line. Tell me, did you like the way this played out? Are you still seeing Facade taking those shortcuts?
I don't think it's a shortcut.
I think he
outsmarted him. Like last week with the mask, and this week, like that's not cheating to me. Nemeth, listen, when you're in a wrestling match, the point is to hurt the other guy. Nemeth should have pinned him. He was hurt. Facade outsmarted him. That's not cheating to me. You know, okay, if he hits a low blow behind the referee's back, sure, but I mean, everybody does certain things, you know, along those lines. I like this, because what this is doing for Facade, it's building him up to now where we get to where Veto picks him. It's a logical choice. Yep. He fits in that role now in a main storyline angle, one of the main players, because of all this stuff we've seen week to week with him. And I know, you know, people, they miss the happy babyface Facade, man. Let this guy shine. Let him show his talents, because he's killing it right now. The way he's talking, the promo he did with you last week, the one on the Panic Zone with the Brothers of Funstruction. Again, if you guys didn't see that, go watch that show. It's on the right on the Psychopathic Records channel in the live section. The one tonight with Veto. This guy is he's showing a different side of himself and showing the talents that he has. And the more he talks, the better he's getting at it. So I think the sky is the limit with Mr. Facade.
The main event this evening, it was Barnabas and his boys, the Outbreak versus Stephen Flow and Cocaine. And a reminder, Barnabas will be joining us. He's actually in the green room right now, waiting to come on. And you can ask him anything you want during the show, just with the super chat, and we'll throw it up on the screen. That'll be in just a few minutes. But first, let's talk about that main event match between these two teams here. I didn't give you everything you were looking for, because I love the story that's being told on both sides of the ring.
How the Barnabas, what the fuck? I mean, the chat blew up with that. Like this is the stuff I like. Like, that was freaking awesome. When Jackson rushed in there when he saw the baggie, because he had to have it. Like, this is the stuff that these guys do so well, and you want to keep watching them in the match, because you don't know what they're going to do next, and you mix it in with all the crazy wrestling stuff they do. So it's like you get the best of both worlds, whether you're a Bell to Bell fan or you're a character fan. When the four of these guys are in the ring, you're going to get all of it, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, all four of these guys are so committed. Five of these guys are so committed to each one of their own characters. Even the Outbreak, I've noticed that all the way up the stairs. Now, there's a long stairwell where we were this past weekend that you have to climb up. And the Outbreak, if you think that they don't get into gimmick until they just walk out, the minute that makeup is on their face and the gear is on, they are the Outbreak, and they move like the Outbreak. It cracks me up. I see one poor guy, he's dragging his leg behind him the entire afternoon because he's living in that gimmick. And that's why these gimmicks work so well and why the stories are working so well, because they understand the character, and it just makes it that much more entertaining. Again, we have Barnabas the Bizarre is going to be live with us in just a moment. But first, I've had a lot of people ask, how do you become a ring girl inside JCW? I didn't have a clue, but I did ask somebody that question.
Welcome back to the JCW Post Show. I'm Mac Davis, and with me right now is Kat. How are you, Kat?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Look, we have a lot of people who always ask the same question. How does somebody become a ring girl in JCW? I thought I'd ask you that question.
Well, I think I just kind of got lucky. I made friends with Jeeves, who works here at JCW, and it just kind of went from there, really. Like, I became friends with Prophet, too, and I was a little inspired by her, honestly, because she did it first.
Let's talk about the outfits. Now, I know you told me you make a lot of your own outfits, right?
I do. I make them myself. My husband likes to help me out with them, and I love his input, honestly.
All right, and the face paint and everything else, that was a part of your lifestyle before even you got the JCW, is that correct?
Well, it was, but not for long, honestly. It's still kind of new for me, but it's really who I am now.
Have you found that you've become more self-aware of yourself and more confident about what you're doing?
Definitely. I'm more myself than I used to be. I don't have to live in a cage anymore, man. Whoop, whoop.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
There you go. If you want to know how to become a ring girl, just go to the shows. A lot of times they'll find you if they think you would make a great ring girl. And there are a lot of people, Jeff, who go to these shows that want to be one of the ring girls for JCW. Something very unique within that company. I don't see that in a lot of places where you have the ring girls, and I think that makes JCW stand out just even a little bit more. It's just another one of those nuances they have that a lot of people don't. Right now, though, let's go into our special guest. We'll have to change the screen here first, and then let me get rid of a couple of things so we can make sure we get him in here right and we don't lose him as we do it. And adding to the screen right now is Barnabas the Bizarre. Barnabas, how are you, my friend?
The purveyor of peculiar, Barnabas the Bizarre. It is an absolute honor and privilege to join you gentlemen here this evening on the Backstage Pass, pulling back the curtain, if you will, on all things JCW Lunacy. Before we proceed, gentlemen, since you were just on the topic of ring girls, I'd like to give a quick shout out to a very special young lady named PT. Back at the gathering during the two-day war with GCW. She is, as far as I'm aware, the only ring girl to be in a wheelchair that was a part of any of our Lunacy events. PT is dealing with some health issues right now. I know she's watching at home. Sweetie, we love and appreciate you. Get well soon. Another part of the family of Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
I have the pleasure of being around Barnabas quite a bit during TV tapings. And if there's anybody back there, and I've told him this as well, he and I have very similar feels about how wrestling should be and should be protected and shown and, to the fans. Barnabas, let me, first of all, how did you get into JCW? What brought you into JCW?
So I, like many, had been plying my trade for a number of years, and myself and what was previously known as the Twins of Salem, who would later morph into what you now know as the Outbreak, we were plying our trade in Memphis wrestling. A rich history, one of the greatest territories in pro wrestling history, one that I have studied at length, primarily because they always favored relying on colorful managers. So it's a place that all three of us were able to cut our teeth in regards to getting television exposure. And it was there that we were discovered by none other than the Duke of the Wicked, Violent J. And Violent J, God bless him, he saw something in us that perhaps nobody else did. He believed in us when, quite frankly, nobody else would. He has literally made our dreams come true. So the path to JCW was directly through Memphis Wrestling by way of the one and only Violent J.
If you weren't in wrestling, Barnabas, and I didn't ask you this the other day, and I was going to ask you this when we were having a conversation, if you weren't in wrestling and you are a performer, I'm sorry, a lot of people are born as a performer. What would you be doing if it wasn't wrestling?
Ooh. So once upon a time, many, many years ago, I went to school for radio broadcasting and television production. So there was a point where I did work in professional radio, as have you, Mac.
Yes.
We've talked about this before. So I more than likely would be involved in radio and television in some capacity, perhaps acting. But I will say that last November, by virtue of the popularity that we've received through Lunacy, myself and the Outbreak were invited to New York. We're able to be a part of a big convention called the Big Event. The following day, we were able to do a special meet and greet at Coney Island. And if there is one place that Barnabas the Bizarre felt, oh, so at home, it was at Coney Island. So who knows, Mac? Maybe I would be along with the sideshow freaks, geeks, and all the great entertainment right there on Coney.
If you'd like to be a part of the show, you have a question for Barnabas, all you have to do is drop us a super chat and we'll throw it up on the screen. Jeff, you have any questions for Barnabas?
Yeah, well, first, best wishes to PT. I'd like to see out there as a ring girl again. So get well soon. Barnabas,
thank you.
As a character that you know who you are, working with people like Violent J and Vince Russo has to be, I mean, you've said something to me privately. I kind of want you to elaborate on that, because it seems that people that are they know who they are, they know what their character is, they know what to get across, and they know how to keep the audience attention. They always seem to do well when they work with Violent J or Vince Russo. So for those of us that have not been characters in that situation, performers in that situation, describe that for us.
Sure. And I'm actually glad that you brought this up, Jeff, because it was on my personal agenda of things I wanted to cover today. So working directly with Violent J and Vince Russo, I'll start with Violent J because he is someone that is so smart to the wrestling business. He's a longtime fan. He and I are roughly the same age. He might have a few years on me, but not much. So our point of reference when it comes to pro wrestling, very similar. But he understands storytelling and drama and characters. And he himself obviously has spent plenty of time inside that very ring, which brings a whole other level of credibility. But then you take that and you couple it with this wonderful, imaginative, eccentric mind. And the powerhouse that is in the Insane Clown Posse, because make no mistake about it, if it wasn't for the incredible popularity of ICP, none of us would be here right now. But his imagination and his creativity and his execution when it comes to entertainment, storytelling, and the business acumen make him an easy fit for someone that I love to work with, I love to learn from. But the main thing with Jay is that he trusts us. He wants us to follow our gut and our heart when we go through that curtain or when we're filming pre-tapes. He wants us to do what we do best. There is a reason why he's picked Barnabas and the Outbreak and Cocaine and Stephen Flow, et cetera, because he saw something in us. He knows that we have the skill set, the acumen to be able to exceed and excel, and he allows that. He wants his talent to exceed. This is a company, gentlemen, that Jay is not trying to hold his thumb on talent. He wants us to do well. Now, when it comes to Vince Russo, before he arrived, Lunacy was starting to grow. It was starting to get some traction. And we did do some pre-tapes. But when Vince was added on, he took everything to a completely different level. He has created an environment where characters as outlandish as we are, Jackson and Abel, the Outbreak, and Barnabas the Bizarre, because prior, most of the time that I'd be on the stick was doing the elaborate entrance, and I love the entrance. And I feel like that entrance sets us apart from everybody else in the wrestling business, period. But what was beyond the entrance? Where was the depth with the Barnabas character, with the Outbreak for that matter? Vince continues to put us in scenario after scenario where we're able to test our limits, to expand our characters. And the thing is this, Jeff and Mac, is the fact, and everyone watching at home, is that unlike other big-time pro wrestling companies, Vince does not script out everything word for word. He allows us to be creative. Most of the pre-tapes that we're a part of course, we have bullet points. We have a direction we need to head in. We have an agenda that we have to accomplish. But overall, he has given, I'll just speak for myself, he's giving me a massive amount of creative freedom to do really whatever I so choose with these pre-tapes. Now, I assume if I went too far, he would reel me in. But thus far, he's been completely fine with the direction I've taken things. And on that level, it makes myself and every member of the JCW Lunacy roster, we're more invested. We're more invested in the content. We're more invested in those pre-tapes. We're more invested in the matches because we actually have a say in things. It's not just somebody barking orders. We're there because we're trusted to be there. Doesn't mean we don't mess up sometimes. Doesn't mean we don't make mistakes. Doesn't mean that we're flawless. But it does mean that overall, we have free reign to succeed or fail on our own. But Vince and Jay combined, not this past series of tapings, but the one prior, we were oh so grateful because we had both of them. We had both Jay and Vince, which sometimes we don't get both of them when we're filming pre-tapes, but they were there for both. So the pre-tapes that I was bugging you about the other day, Jeff, the one where I'm holding the Aztec skull and the one where Jackson and Abel finally get into Cocaine's gimmick, Jay and Russo were both there. And to me, that was perfect because I could instantaneously get feedback on this is what we want. Because Vince writes the shows, but make no mistake about it, this is Violent J's playground. This is his backyard. This is his baby. And his undying love for professional wrestling, especially Juggalo Championship Wrestling, realistically is the reason why we're all here. And I can't thank both of those gentlemen enough because they have literally changed our lives.
And that is the complete truth. Official Bebecito with a $9.99 donation saying JCW got more unique creative characters than Tekken. Question for Barnabas. As a mad genius, is there a way you could create a tincture for the Outbreak zombies to override Cocaine's cocaine?
Now listen, I pride myself on being of superior intellect. Clear of mind, body, soul, and spirit, I am very much the leader of Jackson and Abel. And I assure you and everyone watching right now that one way or another, I will figure out how to solve this dilemma. Everything will be just fine. And Barnabas will be back in complete control.
We'll have to wait and see about that. All right, let's see. Joker Lucason say with a $10 donation. Barnabas, you talked about adding a singles wrestler to your stable to go for the heavyweight championship. Have you done any scouting? If you could have anyone, who would it be?
Ooh, we are definitely pulling back the curtain today. So I have been scouting, and I have my eye on a few prospects that I think some will be very obvious and some might surprise you. I mean, one, unfortunately, has denied and resisted following and falling in line and actually listening to every single word I say, and that would be Cocaine. Because without question, whether I like him or not, and the fact of the matter is, at this point, I can't stand him because look what he's done to Jackson and Abel. But there's no denying that Cocaine is not just JCW now, he is JCW in the future. He is one of those franchise players, one of those pillars of JCW that will carry this brand far into the future. So Cocaine would be one. Another is the French-Canadian Frankenstein PCO. He feels like, and I have stated this over and over, he feels like a natural fit within the auditorium of Barnabas the Bizarre and the Outbreak. We've had the pleasure of working with him a few times. As recent as this past Sunday, live with our the special edition of Lunacy that aired. And there is just something about him that just feels like with us, he is home. So perhaps one day PCO will be under the leadership of Barnabas the Bizarre. A third and final option that I will share currently is Mr. Happy. Mr. Happy, I feel, is someone that I could mold and shape into something rather interesting. I think I could actually do something quite profound with him. Not to say that Jasmine St. Clair hasn't done a tremendous job with him, but I feel like maybe somewhere down the road, Mr. Happy, Barnabas and the Outbreak could be a very interesting combination, if you will.
Joker also asking, what does it take to be to live the zombie lifestyle exactly? You could have a zombie army in no time with all the Outbreak fans out there. You guys are my absolute faves in JCW.
That is amazing to hear. And you spoke about it earlier in the broadcast today, Mac. In Detroit at Harpo's, Harpo's is really a mainstay for JCW. But the venues in Saginaw and Lansing, visibly, we could see month over month growth of our audience. And not only that, there were more and more fans, especially kids, coming out to shows that stayed after to talk with us, to get autographs, to get photos with us. And so many people came up to me at one point just letting me know how much they enjoy the product. I'll pull back the curtain a little more, gentlemen. We talked about the writing of Vince Russo earlier. When he came to me with the idea of what we're currently doing, which is, unfortunately, Jackson and Abel getting addicted to cocaine's substance, I wasn't quite sure what to make of it. But all three of us proceeded. We knew we were going to make the best we absolutely could of it. And when we shot some pre-tapes and when the matches happened, that kind of sold me on, okay, there's something here. Like, these are really interesting pre-tapes. And the matches now have a very interesting twist to them. But truly, I wanted to wait and see how our fans would react, because JCW has maniacal, faithful fans, period. ICP, the Juggalos and Juggalettes, they are so rabidly loyal to the product. But Barnabas and the Outbreak have our own distinct group of fans, the Horde, if you will, that are very much into what we do. And I was a little concerned if they would accept this, if they would find it entertaining, or if they would reject it. And across the board, both people reaching out to me on social media and in person after the shows, they love it. They love the entertainment and the humor and the drama and where we're going with things, because right now, nobody has ever seen anything like this before. No other wrestling promotion has ever done this before. And that for a creative, for an entertainer, that's exciting to go into uncharted territory. And that's all thanks to the creative genius of one Vince Russo. So thank you, Vince.
And Joker's also saying, thanks for answering my questions, and thank you for another excellent weekend of entertainment. You rule, Barnabas. Vince Russo loved my Barnabas t-shirt in Detroit.
Awesome.
And let me tell you a little quick story here, Barnabas. You probably don't know this, but over the weekend, I had a dad who was sitting just outside the locker room area, and he asked me, can you get any wrestlers to come take a picture with my daughter? And he had his little daughter with him. And I said, let me see, what I can do. Well, it seemed the Outbreak was right around the corner, so I grabbed him without really thinking about it because, I was like, I like these guys in a roundabout way. So I take them out there to the little girl. She screams her head off. They and they were being nice, and it just terrified the child. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start thinking a little bit harder about this when I bring out people to get pictures taken. But it was absolutely hilarious. Joker, though, he appreciates you answering his questions. Let me get that back up there again. Thanks for answering my questions, and thank you for another excellent weekend of entertainment. I love everything about our fans. Our fans, to me, make the shows. When you go to a show, there is so much fan participation, even to the point of seeing bottles being thrown into the ring, and it's just craziness. But it's a controlled craziness that is a lot of fun to go to. If you've never been to a show, you need to go see one of our live shows. Barnabas, before we get out of here, and we appreciate your time today, please tell us social media information, t-shirt sales, whatever you want to push. Push it.
Absolutely. Very quick shout out to our friends from Scotland, Parky Streams, talking about the live experience. They traveled all the way from Scotland to experience JCW Lunacy live, and they had an absolute blast. So, gentlemen, we're thinking of you. We miss you. As far as where you can find me on the social media, under Barnabas the Bizarre and or the Outbreak JCW on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, and on TikTok. Also, Jackson and Abel, in their somewhat undead form, also have accounts on most of those platforms as well. So please follow us. And of course, follow Juggalo Championship Wrestling across all platforms for updates. Next week, JCW Lunacy, it's all on the line. Team Veto versus Team Violent J. Who you picking, Mac?
You know, I'm gonna stay right down the middle because you know, I have to be kind of right in the middle. I can't pick a team.
Like Bill Alfonso, right down the middle.
That's right down the middle.
Jeff,
I can't see Willie and Tony letting Jay down. I don't see that happening. I think Team Violent J all the way.
Veto is a dastardly bastard who will pull out every trick he possibly can. But Jay's our guy. He is the Duke of the Wicked. He is the one responsible for all this. We're all hoping it's going to be you, Jay. So tune in next week, folks. But thank you, gentlemen, for allowing me to join you this evening. I also appreciate you. Thank you to all the fans for all the support. Please keep tuning in to watch JCW Lunacy every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Psychopathic Records YouTube channel. Mac, back to you.
All right. I appreciate it, Barnabas. Jeff, I've enjoyed it again this week, and we will be back again next week. Same time, same place for more JCW Lunacy, Backstage Lunacy, All Access.